All right. Hello and welcome everyone. Today is 3rd of March and this is Metal3 community meeting. Just a reminder that this meeting will be recorded and posted later on the Metal3 YouTube channel. If you have any items that you want to discuss today with the community, then please go ahead and add your item to the agenda. And also please add your name in the attendance list. I'll share the link to the agenda for today on the chat so that you could add any items that you want to bring up today. So, like as usual, we give some introduction rounds to people who join like as a new or who are new to the Metal Cube. So if there is someone new on the call and wants to just give brief intro about themselves, then please use the moment and I'll mute my microphone meanwhile. Okay, I think we don't have anyone new on the call, then let's get started. So the first item in our agenda is from me. So tomorrow we're going to have a call with Russell, a discussion related to the Metal Cube Pro configuration. So up until now, it was Russell who was maintaining the Kubernetes cluster for the Pro, and then he's planning to hand it over. So we decided that me, Kashif, and Yantilis would just volunteer and take care of that. But if there is someone else who is interested to just give a hand, just please feel free to join. So the meeting is planned for tomorrow. It's 2:30 UTC time. You'll have to convert the time zone to your own. So we're going to use the same link as we're using now. So and then if you want to see the discussion that we had up until now, you can check the thread on the mailing list using the link here. So yeah, that was just a quick update. If any questions on this, please go ahead. Okay, I take it as a no. So the next item related to the API types that we have for CAPM3. Right now we're working with all the changes that we're pushing is going to Vivan Alpha 4, which is the kind of latest API version and types. We are still supporting Vivan Alpha 3, and we have integration and CI checks in place for that too, but we're not testing or doing any changes toward Vivan Alpha 2 anymore. And I believe Vivan Alpha 2 is also using the cluster API Vivan Alpha 2. I don't recall that, but basically we're going to remove the Vivan Alpha 2 types from CAPM 3. There is a PR to do that, but we're planning to we're going to make sure that we're not breaking any existing users. So if you are using still Vivan Alpha 2, and if you think that it's very quick that we're removing it in 2 weeks, then let us know, because we decided to have 2 weeks of lazy consensus. And if there are no objections on that by the time, then we will assume that it's okay to remove it and then just move on with the PR. I forgot to add the pull request here. I will add it later. So any questions on this? Okay. If no, then let's move on. I also sent the update on the mailing list with this change and on the Slack as well, so that everyone knows about this change. All right, the next one is yes. So I checked a couple of places in the whole Metal Cube, like in IPAM, in Cluster API Provider Metal Cube, BMO, and hardware classification. And there are some API versions that are going to be deprecated in the Kubernetes 1.22. So one of them is the related to CRD. Like I saw some of the places, the CRD versions are still in beta in BMO. I've opened an issue and I have the fix for that. And BMO, it's on hold right now. And then the same with the webhooks. So the webhooks versions is also, API version is also going to be removed from beta in Kubernetes 1.22. So we have to also upgrade it to V1 before Kubernetes 22, for example. So I have the PR. It's just a short update. This applies to all the repositories, as I said, like bare metal operator, CAPM3, IPAM, and hardware classification. Yes. Any questions on this? Okay. If not, then Lutz.
So, hey, I have one question regarding webhooks.
Sure.
So we have to remove this, or we have to upgrade all the webhooks from all the CRDs, is it?
Yes, it's basically in this config webhook folder. There are like webhook CRDs basically. I tried to do that for the hardware classification last night,
Okay.
but I had some issues in the tests
Okay, great.
with local tests. But I'll push the change to hardware
Yeah,
classification as
yeah.
well. Yeah,
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
thanks. Any further questions? Okay. So the next item is from Furkat. Furkat, are you? Yeah, I see you are on the call.
Yeah, sure. That's just a heads up that the proposal regarding the node reuse has been approved. Like we have 2 approvals right now, and we addressed all the comments. It was from Andrea mostly and Stephen Hardy. So it needs LGTM to go in. So uh, I was wondering if we can put a lazy consensus of week for this proposal, since it has been there like for a month for now.
Like maybe we could also ask if someone has any objections on the proposal or questions, and or if someone has any objections to have a lazy consensus of a week on the proposal.
Sure, yeah. I think like I brought this last week also, and since that there were no comments, that's why. If no other further objections, then maybe we can put as a consensus if possible.
Okay, then I would suggest that you just mention it in the pull request, and let's see. Like we will watch it until the next Wednesday, and it would be nice if you could just also bring the next week as well, just to check if there are any other questions or comments or objections, and if no, then we could maybe ask from the maintainers if it's okay to merge it.
Sure. Yeah. Since Stephen Hardis is here, I would like to ask maybe for his review, if you can please review it once again, and if it's okay, give it LGTM, because we addressed most of the comments from Andrea and it was approved. So.
Yeah, sure. Sorry, I meant to get to that yesterday, and Andrea did tag me on the PR, so I'll try and look at it later today.
Thank you very much.
Cool. Any questions on this? Okay. If no, then let's move on. Thank you. Request for the PR from Nam. Nam?
Yes, thank you, Ruth. So, yeah, so for anyone who didn't know yet about this PR, so this PR introduced uh, an Apache server uh, and allows that Ironic API to run as the WSGI application on the top of that Apache server, and this Apache server will handle the TOS encryption part. And this PR got a LGTM label from Stephen, so very appreciate that. And also it also need an approval. So please, if Ricardo and Dimitri or anyone, please take a look, and if no other comments, so please keep it an approval. Yeah, that's from my side.
I think Dimitri and Ricardo, they're not on the call today. At least I don't see them. So maybe like you could just ping them either on the
Sure.
Slack if it's urgent, or I see Stefan also just ping the Ricardo on the GitHub as well.
Yep, sure. Thanks.
Okay. Any questions on this PR? Okay. If not, then let's move on. Yeah, the next one is for me related to some changes that are coming to, again, cluster API provider Metal3. This is related to some required changes for the provider from the cluster API. So with the new release, new API of the cluster API, which is V1 Alpha 4, there are some required changes that each provider has to do. Otherwise, like whenever we take it in, we will have some issues basically to run it successfully. One of the there is a nice document that cluster API folks have listed all the changes that we need to do. We've started to work on this, and most of them are already covered. Me and Furkat were working on this. But basically, we're now thinking of how we merge the pull requests. Do we go with the new release of the existing cluster API provider Metal3, because there is not that much API, there is no API changes, or do we make a new API for our provider like V1 Alpha 5, which is not something we want because of just only these changes. If it's possible just to rely on our current API version, V1 Alpha 4, but still rely on the new version from the CAPI, that would be great, but we need to verify that. I was planning to discuss it with CAPI folks and do some tests so that we don't break the backwards compatibility. So this is just an update that there will be some changes, but we, of course, try to take care of existing users so that we don't break those people who are using the older release of the CAPM3 or older API version of the CAPM3. And if you want to see the list of the changes that are required, you can just go to this issue where there is a document you can find, and then there is a potential fix PR that is on hold right now. Yeah. Any questions on this or comments? Okay, if no, I think that was the end of our agenda, but if still someone wants to discuss something, please go ahead, because we have a lot of time. Maybe you were not able to add it to the agenda, so you can use the moment. Okay, if no further items, I think we can close the meeting for today. Yeah, thanks a lot everyone for joining, and see you next week. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks everyone. Bye.
Bye.